Picture this, you have decided to resign from your job. You have planned your next steps and are ready to move on. But your company doesn't accept your resignation. Surprising, right? Today, we'll dive into the lesser known side of resignations and explain what the law in India says about it. So, if you're a student, a professional, or just curious about this important topic, stick around. We'll clear up all the details using recent cases and judgments. Before we get into why companies may refuse a resignation, let's cover the fundamentals. When you submit a resignation, it's essentially an offer to end your employment. But it's not final until the company acknowledges it. First, definition of resignation and acceptance. Resignation legally is a voluntary act by the employee. It represents an employee's wish to end their current employment. However, the company's acceptance of this resignation is critical. Without it, the resignation process isn't considered complete. 2. Supreme Court's view. According to a recent 2023 judgment by the Supreme Court of India, a resignation isn't final until the company communicates its acceptance to the employee. This landmark ruling highlights that employers have the right to consider a resignation and the employee cannot assume it is automatically accepted. Let's quickly look into the primary factors influencing whether a company can reject a resignation. Here are the three key points that will guide a deeper dive into the subject. First, employment contract terms. 2. Notice period and exit procedures. 3. Employer's rights and business needs. Each of these factors play a role in how resignation is processed and whether it can be refused. Let's go through them in more detail. Now we are going to discuss the reason why resignations can be refused. First, employment contract terms. The term of your employment contract often dictate the rules around resignations. For instance, some contracts specify a minimum employment period or outline that resignations must be formally accepted. This ensures that both employee and employer are on the same page legally. In the case Rajkumar versus Union of India, the Supreme Court held that an employee must follow the contractual process for resignation. Here, Rajkumar's resignation was deemed incomplete until the company formally acknowledged it. Most companies in India require employees to serve a notice period before resigning. Skip this step. Your employer may refuse to accept your resignation. The notice period allows for a smoother transition for the company and ensures that essential tasks are covered before you leave. In the case Nand Keshwar Prasad versus Indian Farmer Fertilizers Cooperative Limited, an employer is within the rights to deny resignation if an employee refuses to fulfill their notice period or hand over duties which could disrupt business operations. Employers may refuse a resignation when it could harm the company's operations. This might happen if your resignation timing conflicts with critical projects, seasonal demands, or other business requirements. Judges across various Indian courts have stated that while employees have a right to resign, the employer's operational needs are also considered legitimate grounds for temporary withholding acceptance. If you find yourself in a situation where your resignation is refused, it's essential to know your options. Here, 1. Review your employment contract. Carefully go through your employment contract for any clauses that specify resignation terms, notice period, and exit procedures. This will help you identify any contractual obligations you may have missed. Step 2. Communicate with HR or legal team. Approach your HR department and discuss the reasons for the refusal. Sometimes a clarification on the company's end can help resolve the issue. Consider consulting the company's legal team if needed, as they can clarify the company's position regarding resignations. Step 3. Seek legal advice if necessary. If you feel your resignation is being refused unfairly, you can approach a labor lawyer or even file a complaint with the Labor Commissioner. Websites like Lawreto and Live Law offer legal insights and case laws that can support your stance. In Union of India versus Gopal Chandra Misra, it was ruled that employees have a right to seek legal recourse if their resignation is unfairly withheld. As the job market evolves, so does the law regarding employee rights. Here's a quick update on recent legal changes concerning resignation acceptance in India. First, Supreme Court ruling of 2023. A new Supreme Court verdict emphasized that a resignation is valid if the company communicates its acceptance in writing. This ruling reiterates the importance of documentation in employment matters. 2. Increased scrutiny on notice periods. Indian labor courts have recently emphasized fair notice periods, especially in tech and startup industries. Unreasonable or extended notice periods have been questioned, with some cases favoring the employee's right to timely exit. So, what's the takeaways from all this? The resignation process may seem simple, but there's a lot happening behind the scenes. Let's recap the main points and give you a clear understanding of what to remember. First, resignation requires both the employer's intent and employee's acceptance. 2. Employment contracts, notice periods and employer needs all influence the resignation process. 3. If refused, review your contract, consult with HR and seek legal advice if necessary. 4. Keep an eye on recent updates as employment laws evolve. If you are facing a similar situation or know someone who is, be sure to share this video and don't forget to subscribe for more legal insights that simplify the laws affecting your rights. Take care and bye.